Hey Pre-Cal, it's Miss Kosh. I wanted to do a little follow-up from the problem that I taught today in class. And I want to show you calculator tricks or strategies or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start by, I want to make sure that my calculator is totally clear. So what I will have you do later in the year is come here to System, we go Reset, we come over, and we go Main and Storage, so F1 and F1. And so when you take a test for me, I like to see this screen right here. So that'll just kind of get us a fresh start. So if you remember the problem that we had, it gave us this equation, and then it said find the average rate of change on the interval from 1 to 1.1, and then it went from 1 to 1.01 and 1.001. So I'm going to come here to my table feature. There it is. And I'm going to type in that equation. So it was negative 4.9. We had a couple kids that forgot that we needed to use this x button right here. X squared plus 25x plus 5. And so now I can come to this table. And what I wanted is I want all the numbers that I need for this entire problem. I didn't have a printout of it, but you're fine. And so I'm going to come on top of this 2 and change it to 1.1. And then I'm going to change this to 1.01, and then I'm going to change the 4 to 1.001, and the 5 to, the last thing they wanted was 0.999. So those are all the values that we need. And so when we're finding the average rate of change on this interval, the table now has the values that I care about. And if I want to hang on to as many decimals as possible, because it kind of changed our answer a little bit ago. So if I want to find the average rate of change on this interval, average rate of change, we're going to take the y value, so this is 26.571 minus the y value was 25.1. Can you still see my calculator? Nope, I need to move my, there we go. And then we're going to divide this by 1.1 minus 1. Let me set up all of them. So then the next interval would have been, we want the average rate of change. We want to go from what did the worksheet look like? Oh, I think it would look like this. So the next one over here was 1 to 1.01. And so the average rate of change here is equal to the one from here. So I want all of these decimals to 25.25151 minus, and then the one from before was still 25.1, all over 1.01 minus 1. Here we were going from 1 to 1.1201. So we're looking at values that are 1/10 away, 1/100th away, 1/1000th away from where we started. And so when I find this one, I still have my values in my chart. I'm going to come down here. Let's see if I can write this down. 5, can you see what I'm doing? 0.115191 minus that 1 was still 25.1. We're divided by 1.0. I don't know what I said, but that's what what I wrote is what I intended. And then the other thing that we did was this 0.999 to 1. And so that average rate of change is now going to be 25.1 minus, well, coming back to my calculator, it was, see if you can see as I write this, 25.0847, oh dear, 951 all over 1 minus 0.999. Okay, so now that I have all of these set up, I'm going to come back to my regular screen. I'm gonna type them in as fractions, so then I only have to do things once. And so this first one, I have 26.571 minus 25.1 all over 0.1 when I subtract. And that gave me that it's equal to 14.71. The next one, I need to come back up. Okay, I'm just going to maybe type this in at 25.25151 minus 25.1 all over 0.01. And now we have 15, can you see what I'm doing? 15.151. Then over here, okay, here goes nothing. Set up my fraction again. I have 25.1151951. That's ridiculous. Minus 25.1. This has a point to it, so when we subtract, and so now we get something like this. This is equal to 15.1951. And then this one over here, I am at 25.1 minus, what was it, 25 point, oh dear, was that 0.847951? If I'm wrong, I remember what the answer should be, and this would be 0.001 right here also. That's what the answer should be, so I did write it down correctly. And so this is 15.2049. Now here's the whole point of this. What we're doing is that we've got this curve. I'm not even going to draw the correct curve. I don't really even care what the correct curve looks like. So say I've got some random curve. What we are doing is we're wanting to find the slope of the line that's tangent at a particular point. So, but in order to do that, we need calculus. Well, I'm not teaching you calculus. I'm teaching you pre-calculus. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting a point here or wherever, and we're going to find the slope of that secant line. Well, then we're like, if you notice, the tangent line that's kind of, pretend it's tangent, whatever, it looks something like this. The slope, if I came all the way out to here, that would be a pretty different slope than what I've already got. So then instead of a point here, I want to move it closer. Well, now this secant line is a little closer to that one than this one was. Well, here, I'll draw them. Okay, so this one was looking something like this. Now, when I move it here, I'm a little bit closer into what I needed. What we're doing is we're getting closer and closer and closer. As we get smaller and smaller pieces, we get closer to the slope of that tangent line. And that's what these two right here were 1/1000th to the right, and then this one was having us go 1/1000th of a unit to the left. Okay, and if you notice, look how these two numbers, this is, it's 0.0, I've been saying it wrong in class today. It's 0.0049 units away from 15.2. And so the problem, part E, so this was, I think it was A, B, C, D, and then part E said, okay, well, what happens just at t equals 1? Well, since we are really close between this one and this one, we were really, really close. We kind of, do we take the average? I mean, not officially. The official way to do this requires calculus. But notice this is 0.49 units away, and this is 0.0049, and this is 0.0049 units away. And so the answer to part E is that at time t equals 1, our instantaneous rate of change is approximately 15.2. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully it was helpful to see the calculator. Come see me if you have questions.